Hi there, I'm Scott Semple. I'll be teaching the AP Human Geography class, and here's a message for you guys, for the parents coming in this year. First of all, some general keys to success in high school for parents. Number one is if you don't already have the Infinite Campus app on your phone, I highly recommend getting that and becoming familiar with it. It allows you to see their attendance and tardies. You can set up notifications so it can let you know if they're not in class. Upcoming assignments will be in there as long as a teacher puts that in before they collect it. It'll show up on Infinite Campus, and I always try to do that. Once we collect it, I generally try to put in the missings as quickly as possible to let that message get to you guys that they're missing something. And then, of course, you can check their grades. So this is a great tool. Even if you're not a helicopter parent, it's worth having this to keep an eye on them as they transition into high school and into AP classes. They might need just a little bit more support and supervision from you guys. So that's a great tool for that. AP Human Geography is going to be first period, so that's 7:40 in the morning. Make sure your student is in school and on time. If they're getting a ride from a brother or a sister that's older, that sometimes is a problem. Make sure that they're getting here on time. Check the Infinite Campus for the tardies, please. Students should try to advocate for themselves, of course, and communicate for themselves. We always want them to learn this skill freshman, sophomore year so that they can have this moving forward and learn how to do that and feel comfortable doing that and talking to teachers. It doesn't always work, so of course you can step in, but again, I try to let them do it first. We have academic support on Wednesday mornings, 7:40 until 8:20. So we like to say it's built into the schedule. Students like to say they can sleep late on Wednesdays, but if you need to send them, if they're missing something, try to get them in here on Wednesdays. If that doesn't work out, they need to visit the teacher during their off hours or schedule a time to talk to that teacher. Help us please with the phone expectations. It's usually pretty good at the beginning of the year, but the phones start to creep out as the year goes on. And different teachers have different levels of acceptance here. I'm pretty strict, and I have them keep their phones out of sight. And I don't want to see them if they have them out. I will collect them and give them back to them at the end of the class. I never really want to take a phone, and especially don't want to have to send it down to the dean's office and get the parents involved. But if the phone becomes a problem, then that's exactly what happens. So I let them get that out to keep track of their calendars and put things in there. But otherwise, they shouldn't have their phones out. And then encourage your student to get involved with a sport, a club, or music. It's so important at Legacy or at all high schools to be connected, and there's lots of opportunities here to do that. Check out on the Legacy homepage, there's a list of clubs that your kid can join, and encourage them to get involved. Now for my class, I call it AP Human Geography. So that's my nickname for it. There is a lot of homework in my class. You should see them taking notes from the AP Human Geography textbook almost every night. I'd say 4 out of 5 nights they'll be taking notes. I let them then use those notes on pop quizzes, which come up pretty often. So they need to be either handwritten or have them print them out so they can bring them to class if they're typing. But either way, they should have notes and be taking notes almost every day from the textbook. My webpage has the unit test dates and the unit organizers, including the sections that they should be reading. So I might say read and take notes on section 2. If you want to know what that is, you can see that on the unit organizer on my webpage. It's also, of course, in Schoology, which you don't have direct access to, but the kids do. I have a great YouTube channel. It's the AP Huge part of it is still being populated. This is the first time I've run this class in about 5 years. So I'm going to be filling that in as we go. But I like to have a robust video experience opportunity for kids in case they miss stuff in class or they just like to learn it that way. And there's a lot of good stuff out there. So check that out. You can watch it with them too and talk about the subject matter. It's pretty interesting subject matter, so you might like it too. If you like to travel or talk about traveling, if you've done a lot, either to other countries or even just other places within the United States, talk about that with them. And there's so many fun apps on your phone you can get for geography. Those mostly like physical geography and stuff like, naming countries and maybe identifying flags. That's not so much human geography, but it's fun, and having that basis, I think, can help them. National Geographic is actually still a really good magazine, both a magazine and they do a lot of pretty good specials. I'm not going to say everything on the National Geographic channel is awesome, but it's a pretty good source for and kind of high interest stuff. I'm not sure if any kid is actually going to read a full National Geographic article. I don't usually, but I almost always flip through at least the magazine and look at the pictures and look at the maps and the great visuals that they have in there. And so you might consider getting a subscription. Well, if you want to know more about the content of the class or how I do the grading, I made another video about that. So you can check that out on my webpage. And I'll probably put that up on my YouTube channel too. But otherwise, send me an email if you have any questions. And I hope you and your student have a great year here at Legacy. Thanks. Bye.